you are vastly running out of time to sow your seeds, but don't worry, there is still some time left. And actually now is the perfect time to be sowing your big batch of seeds. These are the ones that most of the time you sow your seeds 6 to 8 weeks before you plant them out. And in the UK, most of us are safe come mid-May. Second week in May is my rule of when the all risk of frost has passed. Obviously a lot earlier if you're planting in your greenhouse, but for some of these crops that I'm going to be sowing today, these are crops that you can sow outside. So first off, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to get started. Dead simple. There's only 4 or 5 things you need, and then I'll show you exactly what I'm sowing and how I'm sowing it, so you can get ahead of the game. Right, first off, we've got these Windowsill Greenhouses. These are absolutely fantastic. £4 or £5 in Aldi at the moment. Each one has got 20 cells in it. It's a 4-pack, and these are basically just a mini greenhouse. You can sow 20 seeds, or potentially there's 20 cells. You could even put 2 seeds per compartment if you wanted to. They then sit in this green tray and then the lid on top. So I'm just going to get this open and show you how it works. Okay, these are the seed trays, 20 altogether. As I say, it's a 4-pack. They basically sit inside one of these green dishes, so that when you water your plants, demonstrate here, that just sits in there. There'll be a little reservoir of water at the bottom so that your plants don't actually dry out. And a good old Sharpie pen always seems to do the job to help mark them. Finally, what we need is some seed compost. Now you can go for anything really, but the compost that's marked up as seed compost is perfect for sowing your seeds because there's less nutrients in this, meaning that the seeds themselves will put on a really strong root system looking for any nutrients for when you pop them on into the better compost, the nutrient-rich compost. Those little seedlings are already much stronger and ready. So let's have a look at what I'm going to be sowing today. Okie dokie, so some of these seeds are actually saved from last year. Some of them I've saved directly from the fruits and the vegetables I grew myself. So first off, we're going to be doing the courgettes. I love growing courgettes. They're such a fun vegetable to grow. You generally get loads and loads of them, but they're really good fun. Then we're going to do beetroot. Again, dead easy to sow. You get tons of seeds within each pack. They grow well, they grow fast, and they're perfect for the UK. These are my giant sunflower seeds that I saved from my giant sunflower plant flower from last year. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to do. These were actually, they must have been well over 12 foot high. The flower was bigger than a dinner plate. Wonderful. The only tomatoes I'm going to do this year, I normally do different varieties, but my favourite by far is the cherry red tomato, the red cherry tomato. They're just small, they're full of flavour, you get an abundance of them. I actually was still picking these in November. I think there was the last few just left in December even, but they were starting to go a bit funny, but got them all summer long. So red cherry tom. The more cherry toms. I'm going to go for the African crackerjack mixed marigold. Don't do many flowers, but these go great inside the greenhouse. Just to put them around the tomatoes. They are said to keep pests away, and they look really nice. And planting these directly in the soil do well. They do well every year. And there's some more orange marigolds. These are my Alvaro melons. Grew great melons last year. Saved the seeds, so I'm going to try them again. Some slightly different melons. We've got the ananas. They grew well. I got many melons, really good shape, size, and very juicy. We've got the cucumber. These are the long cucumbers. So again, back in this part of the greenhouse, I must have had at least 2 dozen cucumbers off every plant. So we're going to go for cucumbers again. One I haven't grown for a long time now is the Mange 2, but since setting up my new pergola, and I've got a growing area, I've got an area for these to grow up, like a trellis, so I'm going to be doing the Mange 2 again. And then finally, also, I managed to save some of my seeds from the giant pumpkins. These were grown for Halloween, did really well, and it's I saved the seeds, so I'm going to see what they're like. This pack seems to have grown a little bit. I've got a feeling. In fact, I'm going to open them now. I've got a feeling some of these have sprouted. This would be funny if they have. Oh no, I forgot. I wrapped them up in tissue paper just to dry them out. They did feel like they were swelling, but we've got those seeds there. I'll be able to just pick them off. It won't matter if there's a bit of tissue paper left on them, but there's plenty of seeds all saved there. They are the giant pumpkins. So now we're going to get straight into it, and I'll show you how I sow these. It's the same technique pretty much every time, and I'll just show you exactly how I'm going to do it. Okay, so as mentioned, I'm going to show you now exactly how I sow my seeds. I'm just going to do this one tray. I'll then crack on doing the rest. And I'm actually going to do my own seeds. I'm going to do 10 pumpkins and 10 sunflowers, wherever they've gone, and 10 sunflowers. I always just do 1 seed per cell because I just find it's much easier than when you go to pop them on. You're not having to separate them and pull the roots apart and all the rest of it and damage it. Each one will just pop out of its cell. You pop it into a bigger plant pot with its nutrient-rich compost in, and it just takes, there's just hardly any messing to it. So this is how I do it every single time. So first off, I'm just going to separate these out, just because this bit gets a little bit messy. So get your seed and cutting compost. And we're just going to put this in each of the cells. As mentioned before, this is really low in nutrients, but it also is quite gritty, so it drains really well. Seeds don't like to sit in water and be too wet. Yes, they want to be damp and humid and moist, but they don't want to be sitting in too much water. The seeds themselves can potentially rot. So just going to fill each one up. You don't want to really cram it in too much. As I say, this does get a bit messy, so best doing it somewhere where you don't mind getting it too messy. Right, so giant pumpkin time. Let's get some of these out. Separate, as I say, there's some of them little bits of paper left on them, but hopefully you can see that we've got 10 or 20 cells and we're going to do 10 of each. So all I do, I'm just going to hold this up. It doesn't really matter which way you put a pumpkin seed in. I'm sure there's certain people who say you should put it with the pointy end up, pointy end down. I think on the side does the best. So I always pop my seeds in just about 1 centimetre underneath the soil, but I'm not going to firm them in just yet. I'll do that at the end. So you just go around. Really probably should have separated these from the paper, but hey ho. They're nice and dried out from last year. I know the pumpkins did very well, so fingers crossed the seeds from the mother pumpkins should do absolutely fine. That's 9. And one more. That's 10. So save the rest of them just in case we need to sow any more. And then we're going to go for the giant sunflowers. Honestly, these were possibly the best sunflowers I've ever grown. They were humongous. And I've got, plenty saved in here. So again, exactly the same. Popping them into each cell. I tend to just put them right in the middle. The fact that I'm growing 10 of each, it doesn't matter if some don't germinate, because I'm quite happy with just getting 5 of each of these. These will do me, this will be plenty for me. But if I get 100% hit rate, I'm pretty sure I can find the space for them. But I haven't grown anything from my own seeds for quite a number of years, so it will be quite interesting just to see how they take. As you can see, they're just in the position. And now all you have to do is just cover them over, firm them down. I might need a little bit more compost actually on some of these. So just get a little bit more compost and you can actually just sprinkle it on the top. Just go right the way along. I've already pressed the seeds down, as you can see. They're just underneath. There we go, just coming around here. You can't actually see the sunflower seeds as easily as the pumpkin seeds. But same applies. I know I've put them in. And you literally now just go around, firming them in 1 to 2 centimeters below the surface of the soil, just to get that contact with the soil. And when you water them, the moisture, and that almost just activates the seed to start growing. And then once it pokes out above the soil, you know that it's taken, it's germinated, and it's then just starting to grow. And there we go. They're all firmed in. As I say, not firming them in too much. You don't want to really give any. You don't want to make it more difficult for the seed to start to germinate by packing them in too much, because it's really got to get through this soil to poke up and start growing. Okay, that's the seed tray complete. Now, cannot forget to mark them up. So we've got the pumpkins one side and I've got sunflowers the other. That can go in here, so I know that the whole row is what I've marked them up as. Let's get the reservoir tray. We can pop that in there. That one's actually a little bit damaged, but it'll still do the job. And then we're going to put the greenhouse roof on. And because that's damaged, it's not clipping in as well, but anyway. Once these are set up at home, I've got a big tray for these to go in the window. Really, really warm, sunny place. These will germinate in no time, and these lids will come off anyway, because you don't want them getting too hot and humid. I've forgotten to water them. So the nozzle on my watering can is broken, so I've just kind of made a makeshift one with a bottle of water with some holes in the top. I'm just going to now water these in. Yeah, I think I need to buy a new watering can attachment. That was when I did these last month. I nearly washed them all away, but that'll do for now. And now the greenhouse top goes on. And then I just now need to put these in a nice warm sunny spot, and these will germinate in no time. I'm going to get cracking and sow the rest of them. Hopefully you'll be able to sow yours in the next week or so, because as I say, time is now starting to run out. But if you enjoyed that, please remember to give me a big like, leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel. So thanks everyone, and see you soon. Take care. Bye now.